pace and skills are fast. T's got the stats.
Like the running gun.
No fun.
The Biggie's Jam.
Nothing like prime time on a Friday night in New York City. From Madison Square Garden, we get set for the AT&T Big East semifinals as championship week continues on ESPN. And the Villanova Wildcats and the Providence Friars in game one. Here's how they got here. Villanova by 10 over Syracuse. Providence had to beat Rutgers and West Virginia. Georgetown and Boston College, both winners as well, and they'll play in our second game tonight. Welcome back to Madison Square Garden, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler along with Clark Kellogg. Third go-around between Providence and Villanova this year. Kind of lopsided games both times. I saw one of those regular season games. As the big guys went, so went the respective teams, though, in those two matchups.
Yeah, you look at comparisons in both meetings, and the teams that won got great performances from their front line. Jason Lawson anchors the front line for Villanova at 6'11", a very rangy, talented pivot guy, but he will have to meet the rugged determination of Ruben Garces, who will give him hip checks as well as forearm shivers when he crosses that lane.
Well, Ruben had a career high in that second game, but Jason Lawson didn't play a good portion of the second half due to disciplinary reasons, according to Steve Lapis. So that could change the game a little bit tonight. We get set for the Friars and the Wildcats. Before we do, let's head it back to the studio and check in with Chris Fowler. Chris?
Brad, thank you. Digger Phelps joins me. Your friend Pete Gillen should be able to relax as far as his at-large status.
Sure.
They'd love to get the automatic bid. He never relaxes. I know that.
Never relaxes, but I think Shammgod has got to have a big game for him in the backcourt tonight. On the Nova side, I think Chuck Cornegay has got to pick up where he left off yesterday. 14 points, 12 rebounds. This will be a knockout war.
Should be a war. The top 4 seeds in the Big East.
Back in New York at Madison Square Garden, we get set for Providence and Villanova. In our first semifinal, let's check the AT&T starting lineups. First for Villanova, 3 seniors on there: Williams, Cornegay, and Lawson, with Thomas and Celestin rounding out the starting 5. Villanova 4-7 in semifinal play over the years in Big East tournament action. And for Providence, 1-5 in the semifinals. Shammgod and Thomas in the backcourt, Brown and Crozier, who had a remarkable game yesterday, and then Ruben Garces, who Clark talked about up front. Providence, as we said, is the only team that's had to play more than one game to get here. They had to beat Rutgers and West Virginia, so it's not a fact that's lost on Pete Gillen, but he thinks his team is equal to the task tonight.
They have to play with great courage, great heart. Ruben Garces is playing with a banged-up shin and a split tendon in his finger, so we're going to have to do it with guts and heart and courage and give it our best shot and see if we have any, gasoline left in the tank.
They have played extremely well, Clark, so far. All 4 of these teams seem to be peaking at the right time here at tournament time.
This is when you want to be playing your best basketball, and for Providence to have a shot tonight, this guy has been tremendous in the tournament. Derek Brown.
Wow, I guess.
14 of 25 from the floor, 42 points in 2 games, but it'll have to be done by everybody. Neither one of these teams goes very deep into their bench, so the starters have to produce.
During the regular season, it was a Villanova win, 75-64, then a lopsided loss, 91-68 on Rhode Island's home court. As we said, though, in that one, Steve Lapis sat Jason Lawson and Alvin Williams a good part of the second half. In kind of a wake-up call move. And you can bet those two have not forgotten that heading into this one tonight. Ted Valentine will throw it up. He and Tim Higgins and Bob Donato are officials, and we're underway at the Garden.
Providence man-to-man right now.
Thomas will take the first shot. And Cornegay, minus the face mask, keeps it alive.
Yeah, I talked to him right before the game, Brad. He said that face mask cut off his vision tremendously, and he runs no risk of doing further damage to that broken nose, even if he gets hit on it.
Got kind of a wide bridge on the nose right now. Nice break by Providence, and Derek Brown with the opening bucket of the ballgame. Thomas trying to get it down low, and Lawson couldn't handle it. Talked about Chuck Cornegay yesterday breaking his nose in the first half, and there's how it happened.
Otis Hill caught him with the hand and forearm, and Derek Brown ready to get it going. He's 2 for 2, make it 16 of 27 in the tournament thus far.
He had 25 in the win over Rutgers and was just lighting it from all over the place, and he's off to that kind of start tonight. 5-0 Providence. Lawson down low. Wheels on Garces and Crozier and drew a foul. And the foul will be on Austin Crozier.
We talked about it at the top. Lawson, rangy and talented in the post. Going to have to go to work against Ruben Garces. Good low post position. Austin Crozier, look at it from up top. Beautiful look at it here. Crozier trying to help. Helped too much and too hard and picked up the foul.
Jason Lawson. This is from the line. He's been one of the top free throw shooters of the Big East, really, after. And what a way he's worked himself up from his freshman year when it was 58%, 78% this year.
Boy, that shot that was a flashback to his freshman year, that first one. All type of hitches in that stroke.
Well, we'll try it again. As Villanova still not on the scoreboard. Couldn't find it 3 times. He's a little shocked with himself, I think.
Oh, it didn't look good on any one of them either, Brad. I mean, maybe that's just first-minute jitters.
Could be. You and I were talking about the seniors as compared to the freshmen and tournament time and whether or not jitters affect him. Maybe it has, even though he's a senior. Here's the freshman of the year, Thomas. Celestin on top. Nice drive, and it's stripped from behind. Another turnover. Trying to get it ahead to Derek Brown. And Bogdanova was down and out. And Alvin Williams down hard on his backside.
Yeah, I think he may have fallen on somebody's foot right there in the small of his back, Brad, as he took that spill. Seems to be okay. Here you take a look at it. And there's the fall. Yeah, he got the foot. It looked like an official down Bob Donato.
Yep. Bob took a spill. Alvin landed on his foot. They're both all right, apparently. And got at the point.
And one of the keys with him is to try to keep him out of the lane. He's an excellent penetrator and dime dropper.
Nice entry pass. Crozier to Garces with a little hook. Cornegay will clear it off. That was huge on the boards yesterday with 12 rebounds, along with his 14 points and his broken nose. And still Villanova ball, and 2 minutes and 14 seconds in, still no Wildcat points. Villanova 0 for 3. And Derek Brown has the only scoring in the ballgame so far. Thomas around a pick. Big advantage in height on Shammgod, and he goes in and takes advantage of that for the first basket of the game for Villanova. Thomas speeds inside. Nice look. Garces finishes it off.
Well, Pete Gillen wondering about whether his team would have enough juice here in the first 3 minutes. They've got more than enough. Take a look at Ruben Garces fighting inside with Jason Lawson. Little pick and roll there. With a nice flush inside. Well done by the Friars.
Here comes Celestin on the run. And a whistle and a foul on Thomas. That's Jamel's first.
Jamel may be the most versatile and explosive talent of the Friars. Can do it inside and out, defend a couple of positions.
That one had too much on it. Alvin Williams trying to get it down to Celestin on the baseline, and Villanova throws it away again. Celestin got picked off. And now a switch. Cornegay got lost momentarily, and Crozier opened for the shot, but he missed it. Fresh shot clock. Providence by 5 here early. Crozier, nice spin to the lane, trying to dish it over to Garces, intercepted by Thomas. Thomas got around the other Thomas, and Tim over Jamel. Eric Brown drives the baseline, leaves it for Garces underneath.
Jason Lawson is a shot blocker. He blocks 3 a game. So when you drive in there, you know that. Look for his guy, because he's typically going to come to try to block your shot.
Providence off to a nice start from the floor, 4 for 6. Here's Celestin, too strong on a 3. Crozier, the only guy home on the weak side for the rebound. Shammgod will push it up. They left the lane open. Garces underneath. But he missed on a reverse layup. Alvin Williams has yet to score. He's been on a tear in the last 3 weeks of the season. Celestin outside. His 3 rattles out. Garces will clear it. And it's up and down the floor. And it's still the Friars by 5. Brown packs it inside to Crozier. A nice pass, because they were looking for a shot blocked in there by Jason Lawson. His 96th block shot of the year. 15-12 to go first half. I love the pretzels. I just can't stand the smell of that sterno stuff they cook it with out there in the corner. You know what I mean? Outside, Madison Square Garden. Inside, it's 9-4. Providence in front of Villanova. Villanova's looked a little bit shaky early here.
They really have. The problem for them all year long has been turnovers in certain games, and they've had a number of unforced errors here in the first few minutes. Providence getting more shots and shooting a little better right now. Jason Lawson going to take a break.
Jason blocked a shot of Crozier's before that timeout, and that should be his 96th of the year, which should be another single-season school record, breaking his own mark he set last year. Shot blocker extraordinaire. Here's Tim Thomas wheeling, trying to on Brown.
Providence showing man-to-man. Villanova trying to run some motion.
Thomas had it knocked away.
Without Lawson on the floor, it gives Thomas room to show you his ability inside.
Malik Allen in there for Jason Lawson. Alvin Williams says, hey, don't forget the shot clock. It's down to 6. Alvin might be the guy to do it himself. Nope, he got it to Celestin, who got a good open look. Celestin is having trouble from the field, but Cornegay cleans up.
Cornegay had 10 offensive rebounds yesterday. He's already gotten 2 tonight. And here he is working, staying active without the ball. Staying active inside position. He gets it and holds it. And actually the beneficiary of a fortuitous bounce, but he did good work to be in position to make it pay for himself.
Sort of had a nose for the ball, didn't he? A broken nose for the ball. 3-point play for Cornegay, and that cuts it to 2.
You're ready to get that one out, weren't you?
I think he looks good.
He said he feels fine. He had a major headache yesterday as I talked to him, but otherwise he said he's feeling good. He's going to have that thing reset on Sunday, and then he'll have to wear a mask after that to keep it from being knocked out of place again for a while.
He'll have a few practices with it at least then. He just picked up the defensive rebound, and Alvin Williams is shoved out of bounds down in the front court. Jamel Thomas picks up his second. And he will probably sit down, and Murdoch will come in. So Villanova with a chance to tie this trip, as we're almost 6 minutes into this first semifinal for Madison Square Garden. Weave it around the top. Alvin Williams' first shot of the night makes it good. And And it's a three. And it's a lead for Villanova, the first of the night for them.
You mentioned how he's been on a tear of late. 21 points a game the last 3 weeks. And shooting a high percentage from the floor as well.
Crozier. Derek Brown, good position, goes right back up with it. Now Williams snatches the rebound. Villanova looking to run with a 4-on-3. Cross courts at the Celestin. He gave up an open shot. And Williams will try another one. That one rattled out on it. Nice save by Shammgod. And broken up. Whoa. Alvin Williams goes into the Villanova bench. ESPN2 brings you coverage of the first race of the 97 Formula One season, the Grand Prix of Australia. Damon Hill, the defending world driving champion and the defending champion of that event, qualifying tonight at 1:30 a.m. Eastern, with race coverage tomorrow night at 9:45 Eastern, only on the Deuce. Brad Nessler and Clark Kellogg from Madison Square Garden. Game 1 of 2 here on ESPN tonight in the AT&T Big East Championship. Villanova coming in as the #1 seed. They went 12-6 in conference play, tied with Boston College with that 12-6 mark, and BC will be playing Georgetown in the nightcap tonight. Crozier has yet to score for Providence. They jumped out to an early 5-point lead, and now they're down by 1.
Both teams have shown man-to-man and zone, and that probably will be the case all night long, mixing their defenses. Although Villanova's been a pretty good zone defensive team because of their size along the front line.
Long jumper will go. Tim Thomas will clear it off. Celestin, nice speed, and the foul is going to be offensive foul. That one will be on Malik Allen. Howard Brown checks in. John Celestin will go out. Brown was a starter a good portion of the year. In fact, from the second regular season game between these two clubs on is when Celestin started playing more. He played extensively in that game and really picked up his minutes ever since.
Brown gives him nice energy off the bench. He's the kind of guy you like to have coming off your bench, Brad. Can play a couple of positions, and he's a high-energy guy. He had 9 rebounds in 22 minutes against Syracuse.
Underneath, the foul on Thomas, and Derek Brown was trying to go up with it. And Tim picks up his first. Derek Brown, one of the co-captains of this team. Showing the effects of a physical game there, too.
Look at his tournament numbers, 56% shooting. Has done nothing really to hurt that, although he has missed his last couple. Came out hot.
The free throw comes off. Providence from the line in the tournament. 83%.
And the volume, too, plus 20, plus 25, plus 20 in attempts, plus 25 in makes. And you know that's one of the game within the game elements that we've talked about the last couple of days. Always one to keep an eye on, certainly in this type of game that's going to be physical, as well as in our second game, which will be extremely physical, Georgetown and Boston College.
6 for Derek Brown, and we're tied at 10.
Full court pressure here. Get that defense. Want to get it away from the sidelines, get it to the middle.
Williams drives, pick it up with the left hand, rejected by Njai. And now a foul inside.
Boy, good action by Tim Thomas to keep that ball alive after the block by Njai.
That's going to take Tim Thomas right out of the ball game.
Well, there you see the block by Njai on the drive from Williams. Now the frantic flurry for the Orange.
Beg your pardon. That'll take Jamel Thomas, who picks up his 3rd foul out of the ball game. And that'll do it for him, I would assume, for the first half.
That's a good assumption.
Yeah. 12 minutes left in this half. Tim Thomas can't get it from the line. Derek Brown on the run. Nice hook pass down low. Garces No foul. Nice defense by Villanova, and they come up with a turnover as well. Pack it into Lawson. He immediately gets a double team. Thomas is blocked by Njai. 2 blocks by Njai off the bench and running the other way. Foul as Jason Murdoch took it to the hole. And Cowett got it.
That was the appetizer, the entree, and almost dessert. From one end to the other, you got the block shot, the sweet feed from Wright, and the almost finish from Murdoch. Well, you see Tim Thomas let that ball go a little too soon. Again, with shot blockers, you want to get that body on them and let that ball go as late as possible.
Njai 2 block shots off the bench in a matter of minutes. Celestin comes back in, and Alvin Williams will get his first rest of the night.
Pete Gillen, even though his bench is not very long, trying to shuffle guys, he's got a couple of interchangeable parts, so that way he can get some rest for some guys. And your guys off the bench have to be able to give you good production in limited playing time. So far, Njai has done that for him.
Jason Murdoch showing why Providence was #1 in the conference in free throws. It's a 2-point game. Chris here. It's Providence up a deuce with 11:26 left first half. Villanova with Celestin, Brown, Lawson, Tim Thomas, and Cowett on the floor. And again, the Friars are trapping double team.
They've got good speed out there on the perimeter with Wright and Shammgod.
And Jai just blocked another shot.
And when you've got a guy who can erase shots behind you, that frees you up to confidently put pressure on the perimeter.
I don't know if I've ever seen a guy block 3 shots that quickly. Shammgod pulls up, adjusts in midair, and scores.
God came down. He's actually on a ginger ankle. Got that left ankle with a little ankle, right ankle with an ankle brace on it. You can see the extra length on that right ankle with the black strap.
Cowett, this time he gets a square look and buries a 3.
Well, Pete Gillen is elected to go to a little half-court trap with the quickness on the perimeter. Villanova, if they can spot up and be strong with the ball, they can get those kind of perimeter shots.
Torrey, Wright, and Murdoch, and Shammgod in a 3-guard set. Garces and Njai round out the Friars 5. Shammgod thought about it. Lawson came out to meet him. And now Njai's in trouble. Shammgod with...
Oh! Shake him up. Sweet use of the left hand. Young people out there, if you're going to play this game and do it effectively, you must be able to finish in traffic with both hands.
Brown, 3 won't go. Cowett trying to tip it in, and Thomas does. That was a pretty good tip by Cowett, because what it did is he just kept it alive for Thomas, who had a better angle.
That's right.
Shammgod hook pass down on the baseline to a driving Jason Murdoch.
We talked about keeping Shammgod out of the lane. That's why you don't want him penetrating. He'll find people.
Nice execution both ways right now. The only God can make that move. Backward. Bob Saget would love that one, though. Send that to him. 9:23 left in the half.
Shammgod has 40 dimes in his last 5 games. That's 8 per. He's already got 3 tonight.
And again trying to tip it up. And a missed free throw. 3-point game. Providence in front. Torrey Wright, nice entry pass to Crozier, who lost it going up. No foul. It'll still be Providence ball as Alvin Williams comes back in. Steve Lapis really rotating the guards off of his bench as well. Brown, Celestin, Williams. White was open. Drives in traffic and a push.
Get that up on the goal when you get in the lane like that. Although there's not as much continuation in college as there is in the NBA. So Wright was going to end up probably taking it out regardless, since the foul occurred on the floor.
Chuck Cornegay picks that foul up. He and Lawson were both close. Friars moving around the perimeter. Nice job defensively by Villanova. Shammgod drives, and Crozier couldn't handle the pass. Problem you have when you got a guy that's a great dish man, sometimes there's too much on the passes, or they come from an angle you're not expecting. Lawson stripped by Corey Wright. And the little fella loses the handle himself. Back-to-back turnovers.
Well, Corey Wright, he is certainly exciting and full of motion.
He doesn't have a problem getting low on defense. He's already there. Cowett. Offensive foul.
Little thumping and bumping going on between Lawson and Crozier. And then Wright comes in from behind for the pilfer. And here you see again, bodies banging, Crozier and Lawson. I think Villanova has to show a little more patience, Brad, on trying to get what they want instead of taking what Providence gives them. There is a difference, however subtle. You need to try to throw it inside and get something easy going.
Lawson got the block, and he and Crozier all tied up. Possession arrow will stay with Providence. Right now, Austin Crozier is 0 for 5 from the floor. 7 minutes, 48 seconds remaining in the half, and it's Providence by 3. Yeah, upset alert for sure after NC State and Duke today.
Well, I tell you what, if Ricky Peral is looking to stroke it like he did there, that helps the Wake Forest cause tremendously.
We've had no upsets in the Big East Championship. Here's the numbers early. Neither team shooting particularly well. And Providence the edge in the points in the paint. Nice drive by Murdoch. Left it for Garces. And he's fouled by Alvin Williams.
Again, penetration breaks you down. And a nice find here by Murdoch. Breaks him down, gets the baseline, which is really one of the areas you don't want to allow an offensive player to get. It really breaks the defense down. And Garces did a nice job availing himself for that pass. A lot of times big guys hide behind defenders on penetration. Garces that time ran right to the rim.
The more physical it gets, the more you look at the foul situation and hope that neither team gets in trouble, and they're not. Jason Lawson does not have a foul yet with 7:38 left in the half, and I'm not trying to jinx him, but I think that's a key for Villanova.
Yeah, you're right.
He's got to stay out there.
That's an excellent point, Brad. The key guys have to be smart and play big minutes for you in big games.
Ruben Garces missed the second. Derek Brown keeps it alive. Down low, Garces will have another chance.
Love the jump hook in that position, Brad. One, it's a shot that's soft and it takes you towards the goal. Secondly, if you put your body on that defender, it's a tough shot to block without fouling.
Friars are biggest advantage of the night right now, up 6.
Let's see if Villanova can establish some type of inside. There we go, looking at least inside.
A triple team on Lawson, though, down there. Crozier steals it. Nice ball movement, Derek Brown. Timeout taken by Villanova. It's a 9-point game with 6:54. Steve Lapis says, hey, guys, we've got to, stop this right now.
A turnover leading to a basket. Look at this nice extra pass here by Murdoch. Impossible for the defense to rotate when you have that kind of spacing and that kind of ball movement. And no better guy to be at the tail end of it than Derek Brown.
Derek 2 out of 3 outside the arc already tonight.
Providence has really been solid defensively, Brad.
Sure have.
Their quickness in getting back and helping out on double teams, rotating to driving guys, has really been solid this half.
Every time Villanova's thought they've been open for a shot, and that is an open shot, and Alvin Williams nails a 3. I was going to say every time they seem to think they're open, there's a black jersey in their face. That time Shammgod got picked off, and Alvin Williams buried the triple.
Look at Garces and Lawson working in there.
Cornegay and Crozier have at it. Down to 6 minutes left in the half. Time running out of the shot clock. Murdoch on the drive with the left hand. I think some of the Providence fans thought maybe Jason Lawson had his hand inside the rim on that last shot, but Alvin Williams is starting to feel it now. And Pete Gillen says, we're going to talk about it. Just when I had a 9-point lead, it's down to 3. With 5:41 left in the half, Alvin Williams warming up for Villanova. Providence by 3, and the last 3 by Alvin Williams cut into that Friar lead. And the shooting so far on the 3-pointers looks like that. Alvin Williams has 3 of them for the Wildcats. We talked about he put together back-to-back career highs near the end of the regular season. 27 against Pitt, 31 against West Virginia, then 32 against Rutgers. So he has been shooting extremely well, and he's come out that way tonight. God. Boy, he's quick.
Yeah, he is.
Fouled by Celestin. I'll remind you, coming up later tonight on ESPN, Championship Week continues. Our second game will be Boston College and Georgetown at 9:30. Then the WAC semifinals, number 14 New Mexico and third-ranked Utah at midnight, following Sports Center and Utah there, courtesy of Keith Van Horn's tip-in with .3 yesterday. The Eagles and Georgetown next, and they're already sitting here watching this one. And I assume they are thinking about who they're going to play in the championship tomorrow.
You're exactly right. Thinking like a player.
That's right. Shammgod, 5 points, 5 rebounds, which already ties a career high, and he's got 4 assists.
That's stuff in the stat sheet, Brad, and we've only played 15 minutes. Little fella filling it up. He's made 11 of 13 free throws in the tournament versus shooting in the mid-50s during the year, so he's really turned it on from the free throw line here in the Big East tournament.
26-21, 5 point. Providence lead with just over 5 to go in the half. Here's Alvin Williams, left him alone again. He got another one, this time inside the line.
Credit Celestin with the penetration.
Alvin Williams is red hot, 11 points. Villanova's got to keep going to him if they can get him open. Corey Wright missed a 3. Njai, a rebound. Was he fouled? Yes, he was.
Here you see Celestin. He's going to get by Derek Brown. Hesitates and gets the shoulder by. Now help has to come. Wright pinches in. Crozier helps, and there's a wide open and hot shooter, Alvin Williams. 53% shooting in his last 11 games.
And here's Ndongo Njai, who has 3 blocked shots in the game, no points, and he missed the free throw.
He made a nice contribution, though, defensively and on the boards for Providence in the minutes that he's been on the court.
Lawson, the hook shot over Njai. Back down by Crozier on the far side with a rebound. Shammgod, spin move. Celestin hangs right with him.
I'm really kind of surprised Nova stays in the man against the quicker Shammgod and Wright.
Shammgod got a little bit of an opening and nailed it.
If he starts making that, forget it. If he starts knocking down that jump shot, he'll have you on the string all night long.
Makes it a 5-point game again. Lawson inside, double teamed, and he got the roll and a chance for a 3-point play.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I could probably count on one hand the times Villanova has been able to throw the ball inside effectively. Finally, a good entry pass and a good post-up. There you see, Njai allows Lawson that position too easily and far too deep. See, you can't let a guy just back you up right there in the paint like that, and Lawson gets the hoop and the horn on a nice feed.
And Crozier got his second foul, and he got the rebound off the missed free throw. Shammgod takes it all the way down. Lawson took a swing at it. I don't know if he got a piece of it or not.
I think he did, Brad.
If so, he's got 3 block shots already tonight, too. Thomas, did he get a timeout? Yes, he did. Falling out of bounds, got the 20 call.
Here you take a look at Jason Lawson. Good pressure by Celestin to force the double clutch. And Lawson actually didn't get it, but he did change it some. I think Celestin may have gotten a hand on that one there.
Could be.
Certainly looked like it from the replay.
Jason, 368 blocks with that last one. And there it is coming into tonight, 366, and that's some pretty serious company joining Ewing, Morning, and Mutombo, 3 Georgetown Hoya players.
Well, you got the NBA's top shot blocker the last few years in
That's right.
Dikembe Mutombo. And then you've got one of the all-time 50 greats in Patrick Ewing. And then you've got another guy who's on one of the best teams in the league despite being hurt right now with a foot problem. But Alonzo Mourning's had a tremendous early career.
Jason had 5 block shots yesterday in the win over Syracuse. And he had 5 in one of the games this year against this Providence team. And Jason just picked up his second foul as well.
Boy, not much contact on that one. I think that was one where you could have just continued to move on. There was no advantage gained or disadvantage created as Lawson nudged Corey Wright.
And Steve Lapis, I'm sure, will keep him on the bench the remaining 3:28 of this half as Malik Allen comes in to take his spot.
I think he's still barking at the officials about that call.
Yes, he is. Corey Wright doesn't connect on the free throw. Villanova can make it a 1-point game. They can tie it if that goes. Kept alive by Williams. 15-footer, yes.
Mark it up. He's an excellent shooter, as you've already noted, Brad. And when he gets daylight, just go back. Forget about it.
1-point game with 3 minutes left in the first half. Semifinal 1 of the AT&T Big East Championship from Madison Square Garden. With Clark Kellogg, Brad Nessler with you. Providence leading 28-27. Derek Brown. Oh, man, he can shoot lights out sometimes.
Bang!
That net barely moved.
And there was a hand in his face.
Thomas leaves it for Corrigan.
Bang again of another variety. But that's a good attack of the half-court press. Good versatility shown by Tim Thomas, who has the full package, Brad. I mean, he's got everything. Good size, nice touch, can handle, can pass.
Garces tips it back out to Derek Brown. Murdoch, nice entry pass now to Garces. He missed in close. Got his own rebound and was fouled by Malik Allen. Don't forget, got a cap off a championship week for you on Sunday. 6:30 Eastern, we'll have the men's tournament selection special. Chris Fowler will be the main referee with Dick Vitale, Digger Phelps, and Dale Brown. They'll break down the field of 64, talk about who should have been there, who got in that maybe shouldn't have. Then at 7:30, the women's tournament selection special presented by State Farm. The most comprehensive coverage of both the men's and the women's brackets on ESPN starting at 6:30 Sunday. I hope they give Fowler the day off on Monday after that. He'll deserve it.
Well, Fowler's a 24/7 guy. He can go around the clock. Here you take a look at the front court's comparisons. We talked about it at the top. Game 1 and 2, whoever dominated that area won. Right now, we've got a nip and tuck battle in that category. And Alvin Williams, kind of the X factor, so far for Nova, and Derek Brown, who's considered a front court guy because he's listed as a forward, contributing to the Friars front court total.
Ruben Garces ripped them both. A fairly nip-and-tuck game, too. Almost an over and back. 4-point game right now in Providence favor. As we're under 2 minutes, first half. Chuck Cornegay wheels on the baseline. Crozier with the outlet pass to Derek Brown on the run. Foul, and Alvin Williams prevented the breakaway deuce. Second foul on Alvin.
Look at the eyes and the head, straight up, and that allows him to find Brown. Derek, if he goes to the left hand there, he can maybe take an easier shot. When you go across the body backhand, that's a little more difficult. He still was able to draw the foul.
I know one thing, that right hand works from the outside. He has 13 points here in the first half. Alvin Williams goes out. So the two seniors, two of the three seniors on this team on the bench. And a senior out of Brooklyn, by way of LA City College, Derek Brown rips both free throws.
Well, he is just so steady and rock solid. You know, he's kind of like Velcro in that he's really simple, but you can use him for a lot of different things. Very useful. I'm trying to figure out a way to describe this guy, and that's about the best I could come up with on the spot.
You know how many guys in our crew were watching digital clocks today to just watch them change from one number to another, like Montego Cummings? That was last night, folks. You had to be there. Tim Thomas from 15. And it's short. Cornegay keeps it alive. And we're pushed.
How about Chuck Cornegay? He has him backed up 1 inch despite having a broken nose. Engaging young man had a chance to visit with him just before the game, and he said he's going to bring the same kind of thunder he usually does. And take a look at him. Working inside. Working inside. Now attack that glass. There you go. In traffic. Love those in traffic rebounds. A lot of guys get rebounds that fall to them. There are a few guys that go and get rebounds maybe they shouldn't get.
Chuck is going to the end of the bench. I don't know if he's got some blood maybe on his jersey or his hand, or if his nose is giving out on him a little bit. But
I think it's his wrist.
Tim Higgins, one of the officials down there, is going to try to help clean that situation up. Get Chuck back in there. You can see the left eye. Well, actually, both eyes are black and blue, too, from yesterday, Otis Hill. There you see.
Yeah, he's got a little raccoon mask.
Yep, he does. Coming up next at halftime, Chris will bring you up to date on an ACC shocker if you missed it. It was quite a finish for a North Carolina State team that was way behind and came back to pull an upset. Kansas cruising, and the highlights of Auburn and Kentucky. That's all about a minute and 19 seconds away.
I tell you what, if anybody has followed the ACC closely and watched North Carolina State all season, and certainly in their last few games, you knew they were capable of this type of game. I'm not saying this isn't an upset, but if you're familiar with their play over the last few weeks, it's not as much a surprise as it might be otherwise.
I didn't hear Mike Krzyzewski after the game, but I bet he would echo that, if not add to it, that he would agree completely. 14 points already for Alvin Williams.
And I'd venture to guess that Duke probably struggled shooting the ball. Without a real strong inside game, if the perimeter shot's not going, you can become much more vulnerable to the upset.
Derek Brown, a little bit short on that three. Celestin pulls it down. Nice give to Howard Brown. Wow, was that bang bang. And that's 3 fouls on Shammgod as well.
Here you see Celestin doing a nice job. The lane is filled to your right. That's Howard Brown in your picture now. Hoop and harm. And Alvin Williams loves that. Loves all of that.
John Celestin hasn't scored in this game yet, but he runs the floor and dribbles it so well in a hurry, and he pushed that one, and he got the assist, and you can give him a good chunk of credit for that Howard Brown three-point play that has made it a one-point ball game with a minute to go first half.
Well, the reason Alvin Williams has put up the kind of numbers he has, Brad, is because of Celestine's ability to take some of the ball handling responsibility away from Alvin.
Derek Brown got another open look. You can't give him two in a row.
He got that right. You better tag him all the time.
That was inside the line, so it's a two-pointer. That's a three-point ball game in the final 35 seconds. About a 7-second discrepancy on shot clock and game clock. So we'll see how Steve Lapis and Villanova plays it. Alvin Williams, let's just slow it down here, guys, right now. Has a look and starts his moves with about 13 on the shot clock. Paxton inside. Thomas wheels, had to adjust his shot as somebody got a hand on the ball, and Providence will get the final look at the basket before halftime.
Nice job by Corey Wright to check the clock. Got time to try to get a good one, but you got to get busy.
He gets up in the air. Crozier at the buzzer. A little bit short. Well played first half. And Providence led by as many as 9. They hold on to a 3-point advantage at intermission. It's the Friars 37, beg your pardon. The Wildcats 34 here at halftime as we send it to the studio. Digger and Chris, guys.
Brad and Clark, thank you. You promised us to Ward Digger. Good 20 minutes so far.
Guard play a problem now for Shammgod. 3 fouls first half. Alvin Williams has played very well for Villanova first half. Guards are the key for the second half.
Coming up at halftime, we'll update the situation in all of the power conferences, plus highlights of that stunner in the ACC this afternoon. Stick around.
ESPN's presentation of Championship Week is brought to you by AT&T and by Original Coors, pure and simple, the last real beer.
It happened one day, just after
real life.
Some of the physical play inside of that first half between Providence and Villanova. And the Friars have the halftime advantage 37-34. But the inside games have kind of counteracted each other. And outside, it was Alvin Williams and Derek Brown. As you look at the stats, Providence with a edge in the field goal shooting and the front court points, slight edge in rebounds. It's been almost turnover free, but Derek Brown and Alvin Williams have lit it up. Derek was 16, 3 out of 5 outside the arc, and Alvin Williams on the other side, 15 points, and also 3 of 5 outside the line. So those two guys have been red hot, and we expect more of the same in the next 20 minutes as the second half of this first semifinal from Madison Square Garden underway.
Pete Gillen really did a nice job when he had Wright and Shammgod on the floor together. It gave them additional quickness, which was a problem for Villanova at their offensive end. Those two guys really did a nice job getting back into the paint and doubling up on Lawson.
Shammgod almost got a steal, and Alvin Williams came up firing. Talk about having a hand in your face, one on the ball, too, and he buries a 3 to tie it at 37.
When you're feeling it and you're comfortable shooting the ball, Brad, it's as great a feeling as you'll have as a player.
And loose ball, Celestin with a steal. Williams, Shammgod bumped him just a little bit on the way by, and that is 4 on Shammgod, and that's bad news.
19-13 on your ticker. Alvin Williams may have gotten away with the jump here. Oh, yeah, before that ball came down, he looked like he had covered ground illegally.
Well, now we're going to see a lot more of Corey Wright, a lot more of Alvin Williams. 5 triples tonight for the senior. The last time Villanova led, it was 10-9, so they've got a 3-point lead courtesy of their senior guard. 22nd timeout taken by Providence. It's so fun to watch a guy get a hot hand. Pete Gillen's not happy about it right now, but Clark and I kind of think it's cool.
And the Friar faithful are not too thrilled about it, while the Wildcats fans love him. Steve Lapis has been on record recently as saying that he doesn't know where this team would be without Alvin Williams. There have been a couple of times during the season when this team has really struggled, but he has been tremendous.
We've had several guards that have played well in this Big East Championship. Montego Cummings, who showed us a lot of adjustment on his shot in the lane, a great penetrator. And he had a nice tournament for the Pitt Panthers. Three-pointer won't go by Jamel Thomas. And John Celestin runs the court again. Tim Thomas over Crozier. And Ruben Garces with the rebound. See if Derek Brown goes to work on offense. Got a little too strung out there on the reverse layup.
Offensive foul on Jason Lawson. He just grabbed Ruben Garces, who was going to try to break free to help out his teammate.
I remember saying with about 7 minutes left in the first half, Jason Lawson didn't have foul trouble. He didn't have any. Now he's got 3 with 18:26 to go in the game, and Steve Lapis will sit him out of necessity. Cornegay, Tim Thomas, Alvin Williams, John Celestin, Howard Brown. So a 3-guard look right now for Villanova. Corey Wright out there with Shammgod on the bench with 4 fouls. Derek Brown, Ruben Garces, Austin Crozier, and the guy that's got a hold of it, Jamel Thomas, the 5 on the floor for the Friars.
Crozier 0 of 6 in the first half. Bageled in the point column.
And that's rare. Jamel Thomas was held scoreless in the first half, too, so his first basket of the game cuts the lead for Villanova down to 1. Remember, Providence had to play twice to get to this game. Beat Rutgers and down West Virginia. So you wonder, as we talked about early on with Pete Gillen in the opening of the game, how much effect that'll have, having to play an extra game. Chuck Cornegay, that was a good-looking one-hand hook shot, drew a foul and got the hoop.
Nice little jump hook. And this is the kind of balance you want to complement what Williams is doing on the outside if you're Villanova. Good position, good result. And I think the foul may have actually been on somebody underneath the goal, Brad.
I think it was. I think it was on Garces, although Crozier came out of the lineup, and so it sort of looked that way. So Garces picks up his second. And now Villanova with a chance to tack on to the lead, but they lose the handle. Thomas comes out of the pocket. Oh, dish to Derek Brown.
What a nice feed. Jamel looked him off. Oh, man.
That was pretty. Derek Brown with 18 points. And he would like to give that back to his teammate, I think, for that pass. Tim Thomas goes baseline to Cornegay, who's stripped of the ball by Corey Wright. Now watch the pass that got Derek Brown the last basket.
Little tricky look off. Thomas to Derek Brown. Oh, I didn't know you had that in your bag, young fella.
42-41, Villanova, 17 to go. Alvin Williams got Corey Wright up, squares, and comes up short. Fighting for his own rebound, picks up a cheap foul. It's going to be 3 on him.
Watch out now. Foul trouble mounting. Villanova with 2 key guys with 3. Williams and Lawson.
Lawson on the bench. Cornegay, Thomas, and Brown playing down low in the 2-3 zone now for Villanova with Lawson sitting. Derek Brown looking at that zone saying, just give me one little opening.
Shammgod has, tried to make another no-looker. This one, too much distance between the receiver and the passer that time.
Celestin on a flyer. It got up in the air to follow his own miss. He landed one airborne again before anybody else got off their feet.
That's a huge part of rebounding, Brad. Position, timing, and quickness of that second jump.
That's John's first basket of the ball game. Corey Wright ran into traffic en route to the hoop and drew a foul from Tim Thomas. We got a timeout with 15:56 to play, and Villanova leads by 3.
In the 8-10 quarter, St. Joe's established.
Villanova in front, matching their biggest advantage of this game. They only led once in the first half, 10-9, but Alvin Williams has lit it up to start the second half. Derek Brown tripped a little bit, got it back. Tried to leave it for Garces, and Alvin Williams picked off the pass. Underneath, Tim Thomas.
That's what ball reversal can do to you, or for you. Take it to one side, get it back to at least the middle of the floor, and then try to recognize what the defense is doing.
Now it's a 5-point Villanova lead. And they're doing this without Jason Lawson on the bench with 3 fouls. A little bit quicker lineup, not as big. Cornegay trying to cut off Corey Wright, who dishes underneath the Garces. Nice look by the little fella, and Garces has 11.
That's what he wants to do. He's looking to get into the lane to pass. Villanova, in adjusting to that, if he does get in there, play him for the pass and make him try to shoot it, because he's not looking to do that.
Let's see if Alvin Williams can get 3. Corey Wright gives up a lot of height. Tim Thomas walked with it.
With this lineup, Brad, I would expect, obviously, Alvin Williams having a big night, but without the presence of Lawson, Tim Thomas has to assert himself a little more around and on the blocks. He's a guy that sees himself as a 3-man, hovers around the perimeter, but he's got enough game and skill to go down there and make plays in the paint.
He tried on that last possession, but in backing in, traveled with it, so that gives it back to Providence as they look to cut into the lead. Crozier just checked back in. At some point, you know, the seniors got to become involved, or it might get too late for Providence in this game. Garces underneath. Oh, that one was halfway down, and it came out. Alvin Williams has Cornegay picking off Derek Brown, but he doesn't take the shot. A little bit too deep. Cornegay squares on Crozier. They know Alvin Williams has the hot hand. This time he drives for it and missed, and Garces clears it off. Alvin went down hard, holding his shoulder. Derek Brown, the other end, and he's fouled hard by Howard Brown.
What doesn't Derek Brown give you? Perimeter shooting, runs the floor and fills the lane on the fast break, defends, plays smart, plays tough. Good push ahead by Corey Wright. And nice job by Derek Brown. You see him get to the front of that rim to get his body in front of the defender to make that guy foul.
Well, they call him Flight. You can see why. That time, Flight was interrupted by Howard Brown, but they go to the free throw line to try to get him. Jason Lawson back in. Tim Thomas sits, and Cowett comes in, and Celestin will go out. So Steve Lapis going to his bench here with a 3-point lead. Shammgod could only look on with 4 fouls.
Well, now this is the 3rd game in 3 days for Providence. Corey Wright, not a guy who plays big minutes. So you have to wonder about the fuel tank for him as this game wears on. Pete Gillen going to have to go probably an extended period of time without Shammgod. He picked up that 4th foul at 19-13 of this half. And I would imagine he doesn't come back until we get south of the 8-minute TV timeout.
Derek Brown, 3 out of 5 from the strike, making 4 of 6. He has 19 points, which is what he averaged in the 2 regular season games between these two clubs. And it's Villanova by a deuce. 13 and a half remaining.
Boy, Lawson was being defended by Derek Brown in the post and ran out of there.
Cowett, a fairly good thought down low to Cornegay, but Chuck couldn't hold it. So the Friars have a chance to tie it. Quick crossover dribble by Wright, left it for Garces. And he steps on the baseline. Don't forget, Championship Week continues Sunday on ESPN, beginning with the ACC Tournament Championship at 1 o'clock, then at 3 Eastern. Michigan and Ohio State for the Big Ten, and at 5, the Pizza Hut Big West Championship game. What a week of hoops on ESPN.
It always is this time of year.
Don't forget, we've got a second game yet tonight from here in the Garden, Georgetown and Boston College. And on a jump ball, this one goes back to Providence. Austin Frazier scoreless. Almost unheard of for a guy that scores 18 a game.
I don't know if they can win if he doesn't get something going this half.
He took over the second half against West Virginia. Well, he got up in the air there, and he go to the free throw line.
Boy, Pete Gillen animated and really into his guys. I think he wants to see Austin get after.
That's 4 on Jason Lawson, too, Clark.
Here you see Crozier posting up. Nice job to face. Wasn't really decided in what he wanted to do until right there. And went right at Jason Lawson.
Jason goes out with those 4 fouls. And Cornegay will come back in there. They'll go back to that lineup they had a few moments ago when they actually added to their lead. They got up to 5 points with Lawson on the bench. There's the first point of the ball game. First 2 games dominating. Tonight, 1 point.
He had a huge game in Providence's win. He went from 27 and 10. Yeah, in the win, he did get 27 points and 10 boards.
Cornegay. A hook pass to Collett, and he's fouled by Crozier. That's 3 on him. So T.J. Collett will be going to the free throw line. He had a 3-pointer in the first half. Didn't play yesterday in the quarterfinal game. He didn't play in either one. I played one of the 2 regular season games against Providence, but didn't score at either. And he's got 4 points off the bench here in the semifinal tonight. So back to a 2-point advantage for Villanova.
Villanova in the man-to-man defense.
Garces, nice little drive across the paint. Cornegay got enough of it to make him miss. And Villanova comes back with a 2-point lead. Look at add to it. Thomas, 3-point. Lead goes right back to 5. And Tim Thomas with a block shot on Corey Wright. Not a bad sequence there on offense and defense.
Both ends, T-square getting it done. Now try to go to him in the post. Well, I look to try to get it to Tim Thomas. He always wants to float outside, though.
And a lane violation on Villanova. And
Tim Thomas is down.
We'll check on him when we come back. 11:37 left in the ball game. Villanova lead when last we left you. Tim Thomas was sprawled on the court, and here's why.
Well, you see him being challenged by Derek Brown now as the scramble for the loose ball. Right in here, it looks like they hit knees, and they also wrap up their feet a little bit. I think that's what happened. The left knee of Derek Brown got Tim Thomas on the knee, and that'll send you down immediately, but typically you're able to work yourself through it.
See him doing a little squat there, still trying to get it warmed up. Shammgod is back in with 11.5 to play with 4 fouls.
1 TV timeout earlier than I anticipated.
Right. It took 7.5 minutes for him to get in there. And Villanova had a 14-9 scoring advantage while he was out. Howard Brown with the left hand, left it for Garces. He picked it out of midair, and here comes Shammgod on the run. Crozier, 3. Off the mark. Garces saved it. And Villanova picks it up. Tim Thomas. He's fouled by Murdoch.
Here you see Austin Crozier really struggling. You know, before the breakout game yesterday, he had only shot 30% in his last 7 and struggling tonight. And I just don't think Providence can get it done without their senior and first-team All-Big East performer stepping up.
Yep.
I mean, 0 for 7. He's got to continue to be aggressive and try to get himself some easy baskets.
At 14 in that 21-point performance in the second half against West Virginia. Today, just not able to get off at all. And still has only 2 free throws on the night. That's Tim Thomas's first free throw of the night. He hits it. 12 points for Tim. And the lead has swelled to 6. And now 7.
Thomas, an 80% free thrower.
10:50 left in the ball game. Biggest advantage of the night. It's up to 7 in Villanova. 53-46. Jamel Thomas fouled as he heads to the lane, and with that foul, we've got time to check in with Chris Fowler. Chris.
Well, guys, Texas with just 16 wins might really have to sweat Selection Sunday unless they can get by Missouri in this quarterfinal game. That's L.D. Murdoch who gets the roll and the call. But Texas has just hit a 3 to take the lead, guys.
Here it's Villanova by 7. They trailed by 3 at halftime. Shammgod spent a good portion of this half on the bench with 4 fouls. He's back in there. Jamel Thomas, jumper goes.
He's got a nice package, boy. He's got size. He's got good hops. Showed you a good stroke there. Showed us a highlight reel dime.
He sure did.
And he just seems to come and go.
They needed to be more in the come department, not the go department. Crozier, outlet Shammgod. 4-on-2 behind the back to Garces. And a foul.
They were ready to raise the roof there, Brad.
Were they ever? Howard Brown picked up the foul. Garces a little slow getting up.
Boy, you think about the guys out here playing banged up. Garces has a slight stress fracture of the right leg, and he's been a true warrior.
You want your trainer?
Chuck Cornegay with the broken nose is out there. He hasn't shied away from any contact. As you look at Shammgod with a nice wraparound, and Garces tried to get it to the hole. Another look at it from up top. Providence has done a pretty good job when they've had a chance to get out in the transition game.
Now Rubin is struggling, and it appears that he's favoring that very leg you're talking about. He'll limp over to the bench. He's had the better of the battle with Jason Lawson. And again, Jason with 4 fouls on the Providence bench. He only played 21 minutes in the second regular season game against these 2 clubs, and that's when Garces went for his career-high 19 points and 8 rebounds in that one.
Yeah, he was clearly the dominant one in that game. And Lawson again saddled with foul trouble, which stifles your aggressiveness.
And here's the scoring machine at the free throw line. One of the 2 we've got on the floor tonight.
That's a heck of a break in that you substitute a very poor free throw shooter in Ruben Garces for
an 81%.
Exactly, for one of your better guys. So not a bad exchange momentarily, but you hope Garces can come back and be a factor the rest of the way for you.
Derek Brown rips them both. They get Providence back within 3, and we're past the midway point of the second half of this first semifinal of the night. Brad Nessler and Clark Kellogg, and a packed house at Madison Square Garden watching Providence and Villanova. Providence with 21 wins, Villanova with 22 coming into this one tonight. Cornegay inside. Alvin Williams somehow found room for a rebound. Cornegay wheels again, leaves it for Tim Thomas, and he's fouled by Crozier. Austin made sure because Tim Thomas was going airborne on that one.
Yes, sir. That was going to be a jam, no doubt. And if you're going to foul a guy who's airborne for a dunk, make sure you keep him from getting to the goal where he can possibly have a 3-point play. Nice feed here by Chuck Cornegay in traffic. Tim Thomas doing a nice job to stay active without the ball.
So here's the Big East Rookie of the Year at the free throw line. And a 3rd-team All-Big East selection. There is some foul trouble in this one. Crozier and Shammgod each with 4. Thomas has 3. Lawson, who remains seated on the Villanova bench with 4. Alvin Williams 3 and T.J. Cowett with 3. Austin Crozier a non-factor tonight after being a huge part not only all year long but in the first 2 tournament games for Providence. Well, you predicted Tim Thomas would come to life in this second half considering the way things have gone, and you were right on the mark, Clark.
Well, your marquee guys have to step up and step out in critical situations for you.
Howard Brown takes off in this. The outlet to Alvin Williams. Alvin with 21 points so far tonight. Celestin going against Shammgod, maybe trying to draw that 5th foul, but he lost the handle. Out of bounds to Providence.
I think sometimes in Villanova's motion, they get a little too quick. You can catch the ball for a count and see what develops as your guys run their cross screens and down screens. Too often, they're moving the ball without any real purpose behind the passes.
And they're moving it the other way again. Celestin. Brown will take it for 3. And Celestin tried to battle for the rebound, knocked it out of bounds.
Steve Lapis not too thrilled with that shot.
You want to see a team move the ball in a hurry and move it effectively. Stay tuned for Boston College
that's
against
right.
Georgetown in the nightcap tonight. 22nd timeout.
Yeah, you got that right.
With 8:35 left. In a 5-point ball game, 55-50 Villanova. Huge day tomorrow on ESPN as championship week continues at 11:30 Eastern in the morning. Mid-America Conference Championship. Miami of Ohio and Eastern Michigan.
Oh, that should be good. Little Earl Boykins
and
from
Bill
Eastern
Barnes.
Michigan. That's right. That's right.
They're playing well this year. Beat Bowling Green today. At 1:30 and 3:30, the ACC Tournament Semifinals. North Carolina State and Maryland in 1. At 6, the Atlantic 10 Championship. And we'll be right back here at the Garden at 8 o'clock tomorrow night for the Big East title. And then at 10, the WAC Championship game. That's a full slate.
Yes, it is.
How did Chris say that yesterday? Get a good night's sleep tonight because you got a lot of action to watch tomorrow. He meant today, and we've had it all day long. And we continue to have it here. An offensive foul. Charge called on Jamel Thomas. That's 4 on him.
Boy, you got to be really selective when you're going to leave that launching pad around the goal. Sometimes an additional bounce or the pull-up is much better than trying to get all the way to the hole from the air.
That's 3 players now with 4 fouls. 3 starters with 4 fouls for Pete Gillen's Friars. Shammgod, Jamel Thomas, and Austin Crozier. We still have over 8 to play. Alvin Williams weaving his way through traffic. And now goes to the hole with it. Derek Brown clears off to this. Here comes Jamel Thomas. That is going to be number 5. Twice in a row. He just didn't control himself offensively, and he's done. He fouls out with 7:57 to go in the ball game, and Villanova by 5. Here it's a 5-point game, and Jamel Thomas is fouled out courtesy of his last drive down court as T.J. Cowett held his ground. The charging foul has eliminated Thomas, and again Providence playing with 2 other starters with 4 personals. And they're both on the floor, Crozier and Shammgod. And there's a 2-pointer by Tim Thomas. 17 for 10.
Well, I would think Villanova now has to think about attacking Crozier or whoever's guarding, whoever's being defended by Shammgod.
There's Brown, got a pretty good look. Crozier trying to keep it alive. Shammgod behind the back. There's Brown off the glass.
Persistence pays. You can fumble and juggle it. No walk involved on a fumble like that. People screaming and hollering, but that was just good persistence by Derek Brown. I still don't think they can get it done unless Crozier gets going. I just don't think Brown or Murdoch or anybody else can carry him. They need Crozier to get some baskets for him.
You got to wonder about his tentativeness with 4 fouls, too. He can't even go up and go against Tim Thomas, who missed the shot anyway.
He's also suffering from a slight bout of food poisoning, I think. talked to Joe Hassett, who does their radio, and he said Austin was a little weak.
Doesn't help the cause when you got to play 3 games in 3 days and does not feel well.
He does look a little peaked.
Shammgod is going to go to the free throw line. Here's the foul trouble again. Jamel Thomas out. Crozier and Shammgod on the floor with 4 each. Jason Lawson, who just checked back in, with 4. And Williams and Cowett with 3. Shammgod all his points in the first half.
Looking at Austin Crozier, had kind of the isolated cam on him, and he's wiped out. I mean, he just doesn't look to have the fire and the energy. I'm sure that food poisoning probably has something to do with that. Jamel Thomas in a bit of a daze there because he can't help his team from where he is.
Cowett, nice hustle to get to the ball, and fouled by Corey Wright. And the Bud Light storyline of this one, Crozier not effective at all. And Alvin Williams for Villanova, 5 of 7 outside the line. And you look at the front court points, Providence with a 5-point edge there, but Villanova with a 4-point edge on the scoreboard, thanks to their outside shooting.
They're starting to chalk up some free throws too, Brad.
Cowett's done a nice job off the bench for Villanova. 6 points on the game. His dad, Ted, a former college player at St. Francis. 4 straight free throws this half for TJ. And it's a 6-point advantage with 6:25 left. See if they can free up Derek Brown. Providence has got to get somebody offensively in the mix of things, and Crozier's on the bench. Brown's the best scorer out there right now.
Yep.
Here's cross-court pass to Murdoch, picked off by Tim Thomas. Nice entry pass to Tim Thomas from Cowett, and he makes him pay off inside. 19 for Thomas, and a timeout taken by Providence. .546 remaining.
It happened one day.
Tim Thomas able to pick up the errant pass at the defensive end. And now with the tremendous size advantage on Derek Brown, gets it in great scoring position and gets it done. There you see his second half outstanding, 4 or 5. And I would think that Villanova would continue to try to milk that matchup when he's on the floor. Right now, Thomas getting a break.
Shammgod leaves it for Garces, who came up short. Crozier trying to rattle it off the glass and missed it, but he'll go to the free throw line. As he does, we'll check in with Chris.
Guys, in Kemper Arena, it's starting to look a little bit shaky for Texas. Missouri has heated up. They have their big lead of the game right now. It's Kelly Thames with the jumper. It's the Tigers by 7, 8 to play. UAB trying to make a late run at Charlotte, only down 3 in Conference USA.
Austin Crozier's only points tonight have come from the free throw line.
Boy, that Missouri team has played people tough all year long in the Big 12. And that would be a mild shocker for them to handle Texas tonight if they can hold on.
Crozier hits the 2 free throws and comes immediately back to the bench as Pete Gillen's going to go to some full court heat here, down 6 with 5:32 left. Villanova with Brown, Celestin, Lawson, Tim Thomas, and Chuck Cornegay on the floor. It's Garces, Corey Wright, Shammgod, Jason Murdoch, and Derek Brown for Providence. Ball game coming down to the last 5 minutes and change, and Villanova looking pretty good right now at 61-55.
Well, this lineup was effective for Pete Gillen in that the guys on the perimeter were able to bother the passing lanes, but if they're going to allow Villanova to pass where they want to and look to take advantage of that Tim Thomas matchup, it's going to be over. They've got to really disrupt Villanova's rhythm with the smaller, quicker lineup to have any chance at the defensive end.
They didn't disrupt Tim on that last one as he knocked it off the glass for his 21st point. Murdoch, straightaway look. Can't ask for more than that from outside the arc. He just missed it. Well, if you talk to folks that sort of are around the Big East constantly, no matter what you think of Villanova, as they came in as the preseason favorite, and they are the #1 seed, and I think a lot of people thought they were just going to put up such an unbelievable record this year that nobody would stand in their way. And yet when you really boil down to the basics, I think Steve Lappas has the strongest and the most experienced team in the Big East. And right now they're starting to look like it a little bit.
No argument there, Brad, and you're right. This is a team that has some excellent pieces, tremendously talented freshman who's versatile. Great senior play this year from Alvin Williams. Jason Lawson, when he's not been in foul trouble, has been solid. And Chuck Cornegay is the kind of guy you like on your front line to complement a Tim Thomas and a Jason Lawson, a guy who does that work on the glass and defending the opposing team's best front line player.
Celestin missed the second free throw. He, by the way, has a career-high 7 assists tonight.
And for a guy who's not scored much, he certainly had a nice impact on the game.
He said earlier he runs the court well on the dribble, that's for sure. Crozier down low, double team, forces it up anyway, tries to tip it, and Tim Thomas comes down with it. And Celestin going to take his time for one of the few times tonight, as Villanova can afford to use clock. They're up 9 with 4 to go. They don't have to be in a hurry now. Lob underneath to Lawson.
Well executed there. Well executed. Little triangle action, Brad. Had a guy at the top, guy on the wing, and then worked a little high-low effectively to Jason Lawson.
And Ruben Garces picked up the foul, his third.
You know what? The fatigue factor comes into play now as Providence beginning to lose contact. It wouldn't be as much of a factor if it was still tight. The adrenaline, the chance to pull it out. But now you see things slipping away, and the mindset becomes such that now you start feeling like you're a little tired. You're not getting anything to go at the offensive end, nothing to fuel that adrenaline fire. Villanova, very effective and efficient in their offense, slowly wearing the Friars down.
They finally put the point up on the scoreboard there. They were a little slow on the trigger as that first free throw went around a couple of times before it dropped in. It's a 10-point lead now, with just 3:43 left. Howard Brown picks up his third foul, and frustrated, I'm sure, Austin Crozier looking on, and he's going to look out from the bench now as he comes off again, and Corey Wright will come back in.
And a less than 100% Austin Crozier, too.
That's too bad when you get
really
to the last ball game in the Big East tournament, and you're not up to par. He has been, he was yesterday, that's for sure. A lot of NBA scouts have been here to watch him, and they like his versatility. I'm sure they got to like guys like Derek Brown as well. Great shooter, runs the floor well. And, of course, Tim Thomas is much heralded. Lawson and Williams, a couple of seniors. I mean, there's a lot of reasons the NBA guys are here, but those are some of the many.
Yeah, you pretty much tapped out the reasons why.
At least for this game.
Yeah, right, exactly.
22nd timeout taken by Villanova, with 3:33 remaining in the ball game. Don't forget Boston College, Georgetown, our nightcap tonight. And also a reminder on Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, we'll have the men's tournament selection special for you. Chris Fowler, Dick Vitale, Digger Phelps, and Dale Brown. That's, let's see, DV, DP, and DB.
That's D to the third power. D to the third power.
The Schiller D's. They'll break down the field of 64. Then at 7:30 Eastern, the women's tournament selection special presented by State Farm. The most comprehensive coverage of both the men's and the women's brackets, only here on ESPN.
What you want if you're Villanova is execution without being tentative.
And Celestin tied up, but it'll still be Villanova ball. Tim Thomas, the freshman, and Alvin Williams, the senior, have put up the majority of the points for this Villanova team.
They're the #1 and 2 scorers on this club, so no surprise there. And Thomas went for his season high 29 in the first meeting this year.
Thomas was almost the first freshman since John Pannone to lead this club in scoring, but that late rush we told you about from Alvin Williams when he started putting up 30 a game is what gave him the edge for the scoring lead for this team. Garces has 13, and we're down to 3 minutes.
Well, again, Villanova continues to need execution, and they need scores. They can't afford any type of a drought.
And Garces picks up his 4th.
Well, that's one you don't want to commit, Ruben. 70, 80 feet away from the hole. Your team's in a pretty good position to pressure and trap. And then you come from behind and reach in and send a guy to the strike.
Alvin Williams. 1,567 career points for him. And a big night tonight. 5-3. Just a free throw. Maybe a little bit tired. A little more knee bend in the second. 22 for Alvin. Nine-point game. Great crossover dribble by Shammgod.
Oh, my. We got the rear view look at it, too.
We did. We saw what lane he was going to be driving in from right where we were sitting.
Boy, somehow Shammgod is on Tim Thomas now.
Now he's back on Alvin Williams.
Well, Providence just doing a lot of switching.
Looking to kick it to somebody, and it's caught again.
Well, you can see that happening because Providence not clear on who they were switching on to. Everybody gravitated to the ball, and Cornegay just by himself.
Murdoch to Garces. In close. Lawson could only do so much defensively, too, playing with 4 fouls, and that kind of gave Garces an open path there. Crowd looking for traveling, but Alvin Williams kept his pivot feet, and whoops, somebody goes down hard. Corey Wright is tangled up with Alvin Williams. Foul is going to be called on Murdoch. Providence is out of timeouts. Both teams over the limit in fouls. Providence has the possession arrow, but the lead by 7 is Villanova's.
Well, the Friars are going to need some cooperation from Villanova at the foul line to have any chance to sneak back in this one.
John Celestin just gave him a little bit of an opening.
Tough situation with key guys in foul trouble.
Celestin again a career night with the assists, 7 of them, to go with his 5 points. 71-63, 8-point game with 90 seconds left. Corey Wright, 3-pointer won't go. Tim Thomas all alone for the rebound. The time is running out on the Friars in the Big East Championship. Looks like Villanova against either Georgetown or Boston College. We're down to 110. Ooh, and Alvin Williams took one from Corey Wright right in the face. And now the foul is called on Murdoch. 4 on Murdoch. John Celestin, a busy free throw shooter. Yesterday, John had 10 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, and 6 steals in the win over Syracuse. There was the guy that turned the tide in Villanova's favor with his outside shooting.
Yeah, you go back to a turning point in the game, and that was it, Brad. You're right. They weren't getting much inside. The quickness of the Providence guys on the perimeter kept it out of Jason Lawson's hands, and Alvin Williams stepped up.
Shammgod had it blocked by Celestin. And John with the outlet to Tim Thomas.
Well, you're right. Highlighting Celestin, I mean, you could easily point to Williams and certainly Tim Thomas from an offensive production standpoint. But if you're looking for a guy who got it done and it may not show up in the box score, you better throw a game ball at John Celestin.
That's right. And the one-ranked team of the Big East tournament is going to go to the championship game. Alvin Williams. Offensive foul as he bumps Corey right off him before launching it up there, and Alvin's going to foul out. I hate to do it again, but we've got a foul out and we've got a fouler. Let's check in with Chris. Oh, we're going to keep it here.
One update the situation in Conference USA. UAB was a Cinderella team. They knocked off Tulane, came very close to beating UNC Charlotte. A critical miss when they were down 1. Charlotte gets the rebound and is fouled, so they'll head back to the free throw line with the 1-point lead.
Shot from him, and DeMarco Johnson goes for the rebound.
We'll keep you posted on that game. Now back to the closing seconds at Madison Square Garden.
All right, Chris, Alvin Williams is fouled out, but his team is out of harm's way, up by 10. And Villanova goes out of the championship, and they'll go to 23-8 overall. And they can only improve their seeding in the NCAA tournament by whatever happens tomorrow night. They'll beat either Boston College or Georgetown. This one's over. They were down to Providence by 3 at halftime, but Alvin Williams and company carry them to a 10-point lead and a 10-point win. Villanova wins at 73-63. Don't forget BC and Georgetown yet to come, but right now let's send it to Chris Fowler.
Fellas, thank you. So Villanova, we've called them Villanigma at time this year, but now they're headed to the final.
Well, we said guard play was going to be important tonight, Chris. I mean, you take a look at the guard play. Shammgod got his 3rd foul right before halftime. With 19 minutes left in the game, he gets his 4th foul. They don't have a backcourt. And when I look at John Celestin, he's the guard that really picked up his game along with Williams in the backcourt. So Nova's backcourt plus the front line, they are in the championship.
Now to Conference USA.